And then now we are going live on Instagram.
Here we are. Awesome.
Here we go. It's so funny. I was watching all of our lives, and I'm always like, live on Instagram! And it like repeat is the funniest thing.
Sam does the same thing when it's her and I.
I think it's so funny.
I love it.
Why not, right?
Why not?
So we're live here at the Dahlia Group, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're changing gears from our partner,
who you want in your investment team.
Thank you.
Series.
Who you want in your investment team series. Who happen to just be a lot of our partners. So we, what is this saying? Oh, tell her. Yes, Instagram, tell those followers.
Tell them to join us.
Tell them. You go tell them. And so we're taking a break from that to do our market statistics, which we just started doing like 3 months ago.
Yes. So Sam, and we've talked about this before.
Hang on. Okay.
Thank you. So Sam takes a ton of time and puts a lot of effort into, she loves our data, anyone that knows Sam, into figuring out our month over month and our year over year statistics for Lancaster County specifically. So let's point that out.
Make sure we're doing, Pennsylvania, Lancaster specific.
Yeah.
Again, if you ever want statistics in other areas, reach out to us and we can get those to you.
Yeah, more than happy to.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at our April 2023 stats.
Oh my God.
I know.
We're like halfway through May.
I know.
Also, we do email these out to our clients or anybody that's on our email list. So if you would like to get these, they're just a little snip. So this is the one that we send out to everybody. It's literally just some stats, some written words, some things you can look over. It's visual and it's just comprehensive. So
it works for both people.
Yeah, so it works for anybody unless you want to be talked to, which again, we can do that for you, which is why we do this. Yeah. So if you want to get this though every month, go ahead and shoot us your email address and we will send this over to you.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, 100%.
All right, so what are we talking about?
All right, so let's just start with, honestly, how many active homes are on the market right now.
Yeah.
Right? So there are 439 total. That's active homes.
Residential dwellings.
Including new construction.
Right.
And without new construction, that number is at 259. So there you go. A lot of new construction.
Yeah. Lancaster, I think consistently I see it whenever I take that new construction out, it drops a lot.
Drops significantly.
So
that's a big percentage.
It is. It's like 50% almost. 42 whatever percent.
That's crazy.
Someone who has a calculator, you can do that for
Figure
me.
That one out.
Go for it. But yeah, so we have 200 some odd homes currently on the market that are not new construction. Yeah. And when we say new construction, we're talking about actively being built, right?
We're talking about new builds, correct?
Right.
Or neighborhoods that have lots for new builds.
Right. Yeah. Right. We're not talking about those homes that were just built and are on the market. We're talking about actual new construction.
Which is why that drops so hard, right? You've got the new neighborhoods that are waiting for everybody to build up in. And
to buy the lot, to buy the home, to do the thing.
Yeah, and they're listed in our system as new homes, even though they're just lots at the moment.
Correct, yeah.
But we also, Hannah pulled this morning, for the last 30 days, our pending was 408 homes. So that speaks a lot to what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
For a pending home sales index, why don't we just start there? So everyone talks about the current market, right?
Correct.
What our national market looks like.
Yeah.
Lancaster County does not follow national trend. We just tend to not follow the national trend.
Ever.
Right. That's what it feels like.
What it feels like. Yeah. I'm not going to say ever, right? Never speak in definitives. I say that never.
It's true.
But most of the time, we really don't. Everybody that's anybody that speaks to these things, Lancaster is not the national average. We're not the national average.
We do not follow national trends, or rarely.
Regularly.
Particularly in this market, it's been crazy because a lot of folks are like, well, this is what's going on with housing, this is what's going on, so on and so forth. And Lancaster's its own thing. So, we're lucky in that way.
Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with,
pausing for poor connection. Oh, there we go. Back.
We've been having a hard time with our internet lately. Sorry, everybody, if that happens.
Yeah, I think
if
we keep doing this, we'll upload cross-reference or whatever. Yeah, no big deal.
I kind of want to wait to let this one play out though, so we can see how dumb we look when it pauses. Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah. Anyways, so pending home sales index in Lancaster County does not follow the national trend. So right now that pending home sales index is nationally in the negative.
Yeah.
Okay. And in Lancaster, we're actually up 15.32% from last month.
Right.
So again, not something where we're following the national trend.
Right.
Right. So just something to point out.
Yeah.
That pending home sales
So
index.
again, so month over month, we're in the positive. Year over year, we are still below.
We're down, but interestingly, in April of this year, we are year over year down at down 10%. And
last month,
the previous month, we were down year over year 30%.
Yeah, so it's not we're catching up. I feel like the numbers in April, after looking through these, I feel like the numbers in April were a little fluky.
You think so?
Just a little bit. I think that, but this is part of why we do this statistics, right? So you look at the statistics over and over again. So you try to figure out if it's a trend or if it's just like a little bit of a fluke, right?
True,
but it is. You're gonna get that. Statistics are part. That's why we do that. That's why we're looking at that. It's not just about, oh, you look at a month and you're looking at it in a little microscope. Microscope? Yes, microscope. And you're only seeing one cell. You can't do that. You have to look at everything, and you have to look at year over year, which is also again why we include year over year in our things as well as month over month.
Yeah, so just so you know what we're looking at right now, we're looking at April 23's stats, we're looking at March 23's stats, and then we've got April 22's stats as well. What's happened? Am I not in the screen?
No, I said we're looking at 22.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were telling
22.
me.
Look, get closer to me. We gotta get closer. Our Instagram box is super small, guys.
In comparison.
Yeah, so we have to be like super close.
We're snuggled up. So in regards to inventory levels, right? So all of the price points basically have leveled out, for lack of a better term, except for, and we're going to go into it a little bit here.
Yeah.
Inventory and absorption rates is where we're headed with this. So inventory levels across all levels, except for that 150,000
below
and below, right?
I feel like part of that is we have a fair amount of cash buyers still.
We do.
I think that's part of what's catching up is that people realized what it was.
Even.
Exactly. So people realized what that did for them. So now they're either taking the cash out of their current home or whatever it is, however they're getting that cash to do that, like whether it's investment or buying for or buying, because of whatever that is, but they're able to do that cash purchase. And so it's just easier for the cash purchase to happen.
I totally think you're honest. I didn't really think about it that much.
That's why we do this together.
That's right. No, but you're very right. And with our current clients that we have putting in the offers that we put in and what we're seing, that's very true.
It's cash.
That's the price point.
I feel it is. And I feel like it is. We all thought that was going to kind of go away.
Yeah, didn't expect it to come back as hard as it did.
I thought that the cash stuff was going to go away, but the more offers I'm putting in, the more cash is kind of coming back.
Either it's in that price point particularly, or we are seeing a lot of folks a lot of agents are starting to catch on to the different best practices and things that you can do. So like the gaps and covering gaps with cash, things like that. So
I actually thought it would be a good idea for us to cover what the different addendums mean and how they can be used and benefit for everyone. But anyway. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
So inventory levels basically level out except for that 150 to 200,000, which makes sense to what we're talking about. Another thing I do want to note while we're talking about people coming in with cash at that price point is that the buyer confidence overall has increased, right?
Yeah.
So it is not the market we were seeing. It is a spring market. Right.
It's aggressive.
That's great. Yeah. it's aggressive.
Yeah, it's aggressive. I mean, people are selling their homes to want to be in start of summer, middle summer, and this is the time that you're going to do that. So that way you can settle in before the school year happens or before something, you know what I mean? Like the next change of season really happens when we start getting crazy weather again. And so this is the time that's why the spring market is really what it is.
Another thing just to note before we get into the inventory and absorption rates is average sales price, right? So the average sales price did increase by 2.09%.
And went from what number to what number?
So the average sales price for April of 2023, we're at $326,875.
Lancaster. I need to know how to do Lancaster.
Backwards letters?
No, Lancaster's shaped like this, right?
It is, yes. It's like,
Lancaster.
I'm like, why are you making it hard?
Why are you making that symbol?
Right, what are you doing?
It's Lancaster.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out and make a video.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah, so it
yes.
went from 305 last year,
Correct.
April to April, to 326
Correct.
and some odd.
Yes. And month over month, we're only looking at about a $6,000 increase, if even, which honestly, again, for spring market, as we get into the swing here, that's not surprising at all, and that's lower than I expected it to be. With more
That's
bidding.
a little higher than I thought it was going to be.
The difference or the actual price point?
The actual price point.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, the price point. We talked about this last time.
I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down. But I'm really glad we do these. I'm really glad we looked at these. And I think maybe it's just because of what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I think that's probably why I thought I was doing.
We talked about this last time you and I did market stats together. We talked about making sure that people understood that even though that is the average sales price for Lancaster County, that's not what's available.
It's
right?
literally average. So you take all the homes and divide it by all the number of homes, right? It's the average. It's not the median. It's not what everyone's looking at, and it's not the only homes that are out there. There are other homes out there for sure.
With that being said, interestingly, when you look at Lancaster County, March of this year, April of this year, and then year over year to the previous April, the most inventory does fall in the 200 to 300 price point. Not that 300 to 400, right? So each one of these far and above.
Yeah, so the median you would say is 200 to 300.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is falling, is our highest inventory.
Yep.
Also, interesting thing to point out, obviously, sold units did decrease by 15.75% month over month.
Oh boy.
Which obviously contributes to sold volume dropping.
So that's sold and closed. That's what we're looking at there, right?
Yes.
So some people, I've seen a lot of people asking to settle in June or July. Have you seen that too?
I have. People are wanting, because people again are wanting the school year to finish out.
They want to move when they want to move. And because it's still a quote unquote seller's market, as a seller, you can say, sorry guys.
Isn't that the worst? I have that happen all the time. We got a call.
Sorry. Got a call on the call. So, and it,
oh no. We'll see what happens.
I forgot what I was saying now.
We were talking about how a lot of our sellers right now, because it is still a seller's market, technically are able to ask for when.
Yes. So you're able, right. Yeah. So you're able to ask for that extra, like, hey, I want to stay in my house until June. Yeah. And typically a buyer at this point now too, right, what's June?
Right, we're halfway through May.
Yeah. What's June, July? Like that's not necessarily a big,
on average.
big
that's about where we're headed, anyways.
Yeah.
At this point, like the things that we're putting under contract at this point, since we are mid-May, that's around about when we're going under.
Oh boy.
Or hitting the closing table.
Yeah.
Also, interest rates, right? So interest rates in April have held steady from the previous month. We are down slightly from last month, right? So we were at 6.8% in March on average.
Yes. And we
were at 6.58%.
I've seen that too. Yeah.
And
I've seen that too.
It's our lenders are getting very savvy is the word I'm going to use, right? So there are lots of programs that are out there. I feel like the lenders that are still killing it in this market are getting really
making it happen.
creative with those programs that are available to them.
Absolutely.
Which brings me to the, like we were talking about, we're interrupting our investment team series. We had Nick Prey, which unfortunately didn't. Anyway, besides the point, we're not going to go there. Nick and I somehow didn't get to get our thing posted, even though we were all live and y'all saw it.
Oh no!
It failed to post. Even though people commented and liked it the whole way through the video, it's fine. It was really good too, which was a shame. Because a lot of good information. So if you want to know what Nick and I talked about,
let
us know.
Like, and what they're doing to make sure that their clients are getting. So this is the thing. Is that they're working just as hard as we're working for you guys to make sure that you guys get the best bang for your buck, right?
Yeah.
And so you guys, shopping around is a really good idea. So seeing what's out there, and there are programs for people in specific jobs. There are programs for people in certain areas, certain things. So shop that around. Do your due diligence. Check us out and let us know if you want to know what that means.
Seriously, yes. We have a handful of lenders that we use, and honestly, they all have their different areas of
really
expertise
do.
and like different strengths that work for our clients. But average interest rate, right? So I saw something the other day that was about we're never going to see under 3% again, right? And we're not. Guys, it was free money. That was a fluke.
That was 100% a fluke.
It was free money, right? So a 6.58% interest rate, let's look at the history of interest rates, is fantastic.
Yes.
So if you want to know more about all that, let us know. But 6.58, we're holding steady. It's fantastic. We're slightly down from the previous year or previous month. I apologize. The last thing that I really want to hit on, and then obviously anything else that we want to chat about is awesome. The absorption rates and inventory and the way that works. Sure. So just to give you an idea, when we were talking about 33 of the 34 homes listed within the 0 to 150,000, that gives us about a 97.1% interest rate.
Not interest rate.
I lied.
Absorption rate. It's okay. We were just talking about
absorption rate. Wow.
Absorption rate.
Yes.
So 97.1% absorption rate. So think about that.
It's insane.
Right. So 97.1% of the inventory was gone.
33 of the 34, right? And that's at 0 to 150,000.
Everything.
Everything. Which puts you at a month's inventory of about a month.
Yeah.
Right? We're at 1.03.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah. Which is the same as it was 1 year ago.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Literally 1.03
at
1 year ago, 2022, same exact thing in April.
1.008. Yep.
0.08.
It's insane. But it's insane. So that's our highest by a landslide. It was then as well for April.
Yep.
And same thing with our lowest absorption rate for April this year for the 650,000 plus. We were only at about 41.5% of those homes that were absorbed, right? That went under contract.
Yeah. So I do want to put in perspective. Yeah. We have about 10 to 15 on average $1 million homes in Lancaster County that sit. So that's included in that 650 plus. So you do have to recognize that. Yeah. So when we're talking to you about listing your home and the home is well qualified for 650 above, it doesn't necessarily mean it will sit. But there are things we can talk about at that point. But just be aware.
And priced appropriately.
Again, right, we're talking average, we're not talking median. And we're not talking 650 to 850, we're talking 650 and above.
To whatever. Yeah.
Right.
And you and I, again, we talked about that last time too, because it's we need to remind, we have clients at every price point, and you just need to remind people that just because that's sitting there, and we can go back to days on market too before we get done. So in April of 2023, that 650,000 plus is the lowest absorption rate. So we're sitting at about 2.5 months of inventory.
Yep.
Last month, it was also our lowest.
Yep.
At about 47%, sitting a little over 2 months of inventory.
Yep.
And then last year, it was also our lowest at almost 2 months of inventory. Yep. So just to give you an idea, right, that 0 to 150,000 is sitting at about a month.
Yep.
And your 650,000 plus are sitting for 2 plus.
Yep.
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 Which I just think is very interesting, particularly because
I think this is interesting.
yeah. Oh, the 150 to 200s. So that's also sitting at over 2 months.
That is sitting at over 2 months, guys.
Which that's crazy in comparison. So last month, the $150,000 to $200,000 range was sitting just over 1 month of inventory.
Yep.
And now in April, right, coming through, we're over 2 months worth of inventory in that.
I think
it's a big difference.
This is just my
no. Go ahead, because that's what we were talking about earlier, where everything else leveled out and that didn't.
I think that people are listing a little higher.
Mm-hmm. People, I feel like
I think that even the homes that need the work, that people that used to be under 150. The market value is there, so they're boosting it up, but the home still needs the work, and the home still needs this, and the home still needs that, and the home is still whatever, but priced at 250, 225, to whatever, and under 200, and so it's still valued correctly.
Yeah.
But the people that are looking at it with the VA or FHA, USDA loans can't quite get that because it really won't qualify.
And that brings into play the addendums, whatever.
They're addendums.
Thing. That you were talking about earlier about discussing that in a conversation. I think that would be a really good thing. Things like your appraisal gaps, that's where that comes in really handy for that sort of loan. And obviously those are part of our best practices that we deal with regularly with the way our market currently is. Mm-hmm. I also wanted to note that the $200,000 to $300,000 price point for April was at 137 units listed, which is outside of, it's only 20 over the next price point at 300 to 400, but otherwise it is leaps and bounds higher than anything else. Yeah, so that's that.
So 200, 300 is a sweet spot, 137 homes listed.
And that goes back to that median versus average sales price, right? So Lancaster County, average 326. Median, however,
this is also, I do want to also mention that this is, when we're talking about average sales price, we're talking about what it settled for, not what it was listed for.
Correct.
So when we're talking about these homes that we're talking about right now are the homes that are listed but not yet sold. So if something is sitting at, 275 but sells for 301, that's where it goes into play. So just keep that in mind. So there's a difference, right? And especially because houses are still selling for over asking price right now, on average. But this is, so I just want to make sure. So when we are talking about two different things.
Yes, which is actually, it's a really great point, because what'll happen is when that happens and it goes under contract at a higher price point, or I'm sorry, closes at a higher price point than where you were originally listed, it pushes it to that next category, which is interesting because it then shows you like those units sold compared to the units that were listed. You're looking at the cumulative inventory, like the month.
And again, this is why we look at trends.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Let's see. What else do we want to? Days on market.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about days on market?
I wanted to hit days on market.
Average.
Yes. So the average days on market for April of 23 was 21 days. Now, back to what Hannah said earlier. That 21 days includes those homes that are multi-million-dollar homes that have also been sitting, right? Because they're waiting for the right buyer.
Yeah.
Or, the unique homes that are waiting for the right buyer.
There is one right now in Marietta. Have you seen this yet? It's blue. It's quite a few
really cool.
that are very cool, but very specific.
Yes, very.
3-bedroom, but not made for a family. It's a
ladder.
I love it. For the upstairs. Do you know what I mean?
That's my kind of house.
They're adorable. They're great. Just not,
That's fun.
Anyway, so we're talking about all of those homes, right?
Yes.
And as a listing agent, right, we look at all these things and we realize and recognize, and we set you up for success versus set you up for disappointment when we're having these conversations, because we know what's happening and what's going on in the market. Just a little
true story.
Sale plug.
Little plug. That 21 days on market from year over year, we were at 14 days on market on average last year, just to give you an idea.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
I'm trying to think of what it was like last year. I can't quite wrap my head around last year.
I don't even know when last year was.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. What is that one meme? Like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know who I am. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what. Oh, it was.
Time is irrelevant.
Yeah, like I have no idea. I don't know.
Gosh, the last few years, right? So, but days on market, right? Days on market for April 2023, 21 average. 2022 was 14 average, and then month over month, March, the days on market average was 22.
Yeah, so we're about the same.
We're sitting
again, 20 days, 20-ish days on market. I have a lot of people also. I've run into a lot of we're not gonna even look at anything for 5 days, right? People are not immediately selling anymore. People want to wait for that best offer to come around and wait for that person to come and see the house. So I see that a lot too, which also goes into play here. And I think we talked about that. We had there was a meeting we went to the other day that was talking about this too. So days on market is a great number to look at, but you also have to look at what's going on in the market.
Yes.
Like what is going on? What are people really doing? And I think that that's happening a lot. I think a lot of people realize if they sit for just a little bit, they'll get a better offer, maybe.
Right. There's the possibility.
There's a possibility, and so they're holding on for that, or being told to hold on for that.
A lot of them are like, for instance, right? Put a home on the market on a Wednesday, and say you have an open house on Sunday. Unless you get an insane offer,
they want to keep that
put
open
it on the
house.
Market and that open house, right? You keep it on, which increases, right? Obviously, like
doesn't necessarily mean it will.
True.
Again, conversations to be had.
To be had.
I think the only other thing that I wanted to point out was the sold volume from 2022 to sold volume of 2023 April is down, and this is Lancaster, about $40 million.
Yes.
So we're seeing the average amount of homes, which is how many? What's the average sold in April? Where is that number?
What do you mean the average sold?
How many sold units?
Yeah, sold units. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And this is so 321 homes sold in Lancaster versus last year of 463 homes sold.
Yep.
And listed, there is a deficit there as well from year over year. So month over month, it is, we're looking at about 60 homes different. So month over month, it's not, we're not looking at a whole lot of a difference. But year over year, we are looking at a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, year over year is interesting to me because I feel like, you know, for how many years now everyone's talking about how low the inventory is, yet here we sit.
Yeah. Like with everyone was like
numbers drastically lower.
Yeah. So I think we are now officially lower inventory.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's gonna stay. I don't know. I try to be as encouraging and positive when it comes to this stuff as possible, but numbers are numbers, right? And so we're giving you the correct numbers, we're giving you the correct statistics, we're trying to set everybody up for success.
Yeah. This is all just about giving you what the facts currently are and what we can do to make it work. So honestly, something that we do on a regular basis, and again, I'll do a little sales plug here quick. We change our best practices according to what the current market is doing. And we all meet, you know, numbers of times a week.
Oh my gosh.
And we discuss these things, and we discuss our clients together. We discuss what's happening with the market. We discuss best practices. We write our best practices, based on honestly what's going to get our clients their home, right? Yeah. So, just because that inventory is low is not something to scare you away for sure.
I think it is a little scary if you're doing. Oh my gosh! Please don't fall.
That chair is on a. This chair is not fun.
I think that it's scary if you're doing it alone, but you're not doing it alone.
That's right.
And we are able to really help, and we are really. And I can't stress this enough. Finding a home is like a part-time job. And if you already have a full-time job and you have kids or you have a family or you have you have a house to take care of, adding that on is daunting and it's stressful. But we are able to take that weight off if you need that weight taken off. So the homes are not there, but we're still making sales.
We are, and our conversion rate is higher than the average.
Yeah. So let us know. All right.
Yeah. So that was our market statistics for.
That's our market statistics.
That was our market statistics for April of this year. And we are going to go back to our Who You Should Have on Your Investment Team.
Oh, that's me tomorrow. Our
series. Yes, that's you next week with Joel.
Joel, buddy.
Yes, so you guys are going to be live next week, 10 o'clock, of course, Wednesday.
We will be here. Not that anyone really knows.
You guys will be here.
We'll be here in this office. And so we're going to be talking about insurance.
Nice.
So exciting. It's going to be so exciting.
He really does have a great presentation.
Oh my gosh.
He had come in and done, just like went through everything with us.
Absolutely.
There were all kinds of information that I didn't know previously. So it was really cool.
He's great. He's absolutely super knowledgeable, awesome guy. So join me next week. And all right, so if you want to.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So you can call or text us at 717-333-7045.
Right.
You can email us, info@thedahliagroup.net.
Yep.
Find us on the web at thedahliagroup.net. Or as always, you can hit us up on any of the platforms that you might be watching this on right now. And yes, we love insurance. Hi, Billy. All right. And
absolutely.
With that being said, Billy was on last week, by the way, everybody. I'm going to let Hannah do this gracefully.
Oh, boy. All right, so we'll do Facebook first. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you next week. See everybody later.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh, wait. I can't do that. Oh, wait. Hang on. I don't want to. Oh, my gosh. And now that one. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And then this one.
That one.